Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Our next guest is a self-made millionaire and legal powerhouse who thrives on her own terms. She's joining us today with tips on how to raise strong girls to become confident women. We welcome the author of Ladyshark, How to Become a Millionaire in Your 30s, Chrissy Grigoropoulos. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me, Hannah.
I know you've got a couple of little ones, so you're putting some of these things into practice already. So you've got tip number one for us: be confident in everything that you do.
For sure. It's easier said than done, especially when you're learning the process of confidence. My oldest is 3, or she's about to be 3. So I had an experience with her just recently. She was walking into a room of children she didn't know. And she, of course, looks back at me like, hey, what do I do now? Got a little shy, but, I kind of like gave her a little push, and I'm like, just, go say hi, introduce yourself. And, she went in and said, hey, I'm Valentina. And the kids took well to her, and that was the first thing that I taught her. So how to make an icebreaker work for you.
That's all it takes. It's a simple lesson, but super early. That's going to be a great stepping stone for her. Okay, it's tip number 2: be a leader, not a follower. Also easier said than done, but we can start early with that too.
Yes, definitely. So in my book, Ladyshark, How to Become a Millionaire in Your 30s, I go over tons of different, tricks and tips on how to kind of own a room and try to get everything as far as, how you present yourself to the world. And you really don't want to follow the trends of everyone else. I was always raised that way. My parents always told me to be a leader, not a follower, be original. Trends come and go, whether it's hair color, piercings, or anything else. The more that you're authentic to yourself and you just be you and own it, the more you'll leave an impression on the world.
For sure. People absolutely remember your most authentic self. Okay, number 3 here: you can do anything you put your mind to, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yes. Oh, it's again another one that I talk a lot about in my book. There's so many naysayers when you're just, in your own grind and just trying to achieve success and doing things maybe not the traditional route, whether it's not, going through the traditional route of schooling, or whether it's trying a different job or something that, your parents didn't expect for you to do career-wise. I go through, things and different tips that you can go through and how to own yourself. So you definitely don't want to listen to the naysayers and people that want to put you in a box. My father, again, always pushed me to do great things, as well as my mother, so I always try to instill that in my girls and try to help my family actually, look and reflect on that.
For sure. Okay, the next one here, I love that you kind of point this out. Nothing comes easy, and working hard and smart is an admired quality. It's not easy to reach certain levels of success, no matter what field you're looking into.
Of course, nothing that's worth it ever really comes easy unless, you have this miracle happen for you, which does happen, I guess, occasionally. But we try to instill, a lot of kids are doing the screen time now, or just doing, more fun stuff than traditional education things. Right now, back to school is about to happen, but we had a long summer of non-educational stuff. Unless you push your children, you try to get them to do a puzzle, read a book, try to do TV and computer, iPad things, in order to really instill values in them, and realize that sometimes you have to put work in. Doing chores, teaching them the value of the dollar sometimes is definitely good to be instilled at a young age.
Which brings us right to your next tip, that financial literacy is fun, and you can really get your kids involved with budgeting and spending pretty early as well.
Yes, definitely. Again, with back to school coming, all the school supply lists and everything in that nature, you want to make sure that your kids kind of understand that you're going to be spending a lot of money for their school and back to school items, to respect them. But more importantly, it's just teaching them how to maybe save money by encouraging them to take a look at how much things cost, and maybe anything left over, they can choose something of their liking that's not a requisite for school. It's really helpful to start instilling the value of money and how much saving is important at a young age.
So beneficial as they start to grow up as well. Okay, and I love this final one: is be kind to yourself and to others.
It's such a good one, and I know that it's easily looked over when you're trying to instill values in your children. For me, manners was such a big one. I had friends that are from the South, and the Southern charm is such a big thing. And being from New York, sometimes you bypass certain manners and things that you see, on a day-to-day basis. So for me, please, thank you. I try to teach them the mantras to build up their self-esteem. That give good and you get good. I talk about that in my book as well. The more that you help give a helping hand, the more it'll come back to you. Regardless of your mood, you can't be mean to people, and God doesn't like ugly. So you definitely want to teach them that, and they realize it, whether it's in the morning, they're a little cranky, or you're waking them up. You have to just really teach them that, come on, there's always advantages even if you're in a bad mood, and you have to be nice to people.
It's a good life lesson. Just some basic manners go a long way. Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we'll have more on our website at katu.com, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.